of the things that Tim Keller pointed out when I was listening to his sermon on this a couple years ago was, notice every one of these disciples is operating. Jesus is working with every one of these disciples in every situation on a different timetable. Right? Mary is the first one at the tomb, and she is given this incredible opportunity right out of the gate to speak with the risen Lord. Right? You've sung the song In the Garden, right? Just that glorious couple of first moments. Jesus is resurrected, and Mary gets to be alone with him. Alone. Just her and Jesus for just this little bit of time. She's given this rich conversation, this rich hope. The disciples in the upper room, have to wait a whole day. And they do get an appearance. In fact, they get kind of a Star Trek beaming Jesus in, behind closed doors. He can just breaks time and space, and so he just appears in their midst, and he's physical, and you can touch him and talk with him. So they get an appearance. It's a different one, and it's a whole day until the evening before they see him. Thomas gets a week. Right? He says those words, "Until I see him and touch him, I will not believe." And do you think Jesus, if he can go through a wall, he couldn't have just said, "I'm here, Thomas. You might want to take that back." No, see, do you think Jesus heard that? Of course he heard that. And yet he lets Thomas sit with that for a week. A week. How gut-wrenching that must have been for Thomas to process the loss. I mean, you see through the Gospels, Thomas is a downer, right? When Jesus turns his face toward Jerusalem, Luke says, well, we might as well go with him so we can die with him. I mean, Thomas is a real downer the whole time. If you read him, he's just like, well, last time we were there, he wanted to kill Jesus. So if he's wanting to go back to Jerusalem and we go with him, let's go, but we're all going to die anyway, right? So he's a downer. He's a Debbie Downer. Sorry, Debbie, in the audience, if you're out there. And Jesus lets him sit with it for a week and just lets him stew in that horrible, depressed state, just letting him mull over what he invested in Jesus and what he lost, until a week later he appeared and gave Thomas what he asked for. See, Jesus isn't above that. Jesus isn't above giving you what you need to believe. So many times, friends, we say, you just need to believe. You don't need evidence. And yet Jesus says, no, I want you to see this is believable. To touch me, hug me, eat with me. Right? Sometimes you need to see to believe. And Jesus isn't above that. We need to let other people that we're walking with and talking with, help them see this is believable, friends. It's believable. But it's a different timetable. And Peter is given even more time as well, as we'll see here in the next couple of weeks. So what that says to me is, friends, we need to be very patient with what God's doing in other people's lives, because he's working on different timetables with people. And some people, it's fast. I mean, they're like, what do I need to do now? And other people, it might be a week or a month or 10 years. Are we willing to be patient, knowing that Jesus is fully aware of where people are at? Patient as a minister, as an evangelist, to just sit with them and be with them, ready for when maybe they turn the corner and we can maybe be a part of seeing them come to faith. Different timetables, different amounts of revelation are given to different people then and now, I'm convinced. But also, this is, as we've said over and over again, Jesus taking irreversible situations from deep, irreparable sadness to joy, from horrible, debilitating doubt to faith, and so on. This isn't like going from sadness to equilibrium, like I'm sad, now I'm not sad, or I'm doubting, but now I'm somewhere in the middle. No, this is like a complete reversal, right? If you struggle with like anxiety and depression, if you're anxious, the opposite of anxiety is not non-anxiety. The opposite of anxiety is courage. If you struggle with depression, the opposite of depression is not like equilibrium. The opposite of depression is life. So Jesus isn't just bringing people from here to here. He's bringing people from here to here. And that's what Jesus wants to do in our life. And it may take a lifetime to get us from here to here. But that's the reversal out of the irreversible situation that Jesus offers here. It's this idea of taking Jesus who was dead and not just bringing him back to life. It's taking Jesus who was dead and now he's immortal. It's not just back to where he was. It's way beyond that. And that's what the resurrection's all about. When we come to faith in Christ, it's a death, it's a burial, and we've started on a path of resurrection. What we're going to see is that the resurrection, the afterglow of the resurrection, is taking us out of the reversal of what we were doomed to be outside of the resurrection. What we're doomed to be. Mary was doomed to be sad for the rest of her life. Thomas was doomed to be a doubter for the rest of his life. Peter was doomed to be full of shame for the rest of his life. If I could have just been faithful, that one moment, why couldn't I do it? He was doomed to that. But the resurrection reverses it. But it not only reverses it, it gives them all a taste, not only of what they were rescued from, what they were reversed out of, but it gives them a taste of who they're destined to be. Doesn't it? We read about Peter, the faithfulness, the courage. This is just a taste of who we're destined to be. And so I invite you, let's get our communion out. And when you're ready, I know we'll be playing some music and stuff. When you're ready, let's take the communion and remember, when we take part in Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, we are being brought into a reversal of an irreversible situation. We're being brought out of it. But we're also being given a taste of who one day we will ultimately be.